So I've waited all day to see if anybody reported on this that was EBT. Graham Hoffman. He's only 25 years old, paramedic. There he is right there. You see what that says? Killed in the ambulance trying to help someone. Yet I've seen no videos, no outrage, no liberal has said a word. Why? Because, oh, I get it now. Because Graham was white, doing his job, protecting, serving. And then to come to find out, last week, she'd been a cop. And they let her out. And I said, where could this happen? Of course, Kansas City, Missouri. Of course. Where you protect, but you don't protect Graham.
Graham was 29 years old, not 25, but that's besides the point. The point that he's trying to make is that this story is not getting much media coverage. There's not even really anyone out there making videos about this story except for me. You guys know I put out a video about this yesterday, and the reason why you're not seeing many people talk about this case is because it does not fit along with the narrative that the mainstream media tries to push. We all know it has become evidently clear that when crimes are committed against white people by other groups of people, the media tries to turn a blind eye. But I'm sick and tired of only blaming the media because the media has become almost irrelevant these days. There's a such thing as independent media, independent journalists. There's YouTubers like me, right? Here on YouTube, we have something called the true crime community. But you want to know what's really weird about the true crime community? The true crime community purposely goes out of their way to totally ignore these kind of crimes. If it's not a murder committed by a white person, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, the true crime community is not going to talk about it. And it's crazy because when you look at crime statistics, it's like you got to dig past like 20 murders committed by black people or another group of people. You got to dig through all of those murders to get to a case involving only white people, right? Yet this true crime community here on YouTube, they just blatantly ignore all of these crimes being committed by other groups of people, by illegal immigrants. Hell, every day there's a new story about a young girl getting kidnapped, a young girl getting R-worded, a young girl getting unalived by illegal immigrants. And for the most part, there are some people out there that will acknowledge it. But overall, these independent journalists, these YouTubers, and the true crime community, they don't talk about this stuff. They're scared to. Like I said, these people hop on every single murder and true crime case imaginable, all while dodging every single case involving maybe a black murderer or something along those lines. Now, I have no problem with making as many videos as you want about whatever you want. And I sit here on my channel and I make videos, like I say, about white killers and white people committing crime all the time. But I have noticed this active effort to, that story involves a black person. We're not going to touch that story with a 10-foot pole. Because a lot of the people in the true crime community are just afraid of pushback. They're afraid of being labeled. They're afraid of getting called names like racist and stuff like that. They're afraid of getting called the names that I've been called for simply saying that Karmelo Anthony is wrong for killing Austin Metcalf, which is why most of them will not cover the Austin Metcalf case. I mean, you even got true crimers from other countries that are ignoring crimes in their countries, like the grooming gangs in the UK and stuff like that. They're totally ignoring those issues while talking about some white dude that maybe killed his wife in America. You got people from these European countries that are getting flooded with refugees that are literally chopping up women and kids in the street with machetes, and they don't talk about any of that, but oh, let's focus on this one white crime that happened in America. Right? And look, I can't even blame a lot of them because I understand the type of pushback that you get when you simply cover a crime involving black people in the way that you cover a crime involving white people. Like, my coverage of the Austin Metcalf Karmelo Anthony case would have been like my coverage for any other case if it wasn't for all of Karmelo's supporters coming in and attacking and spreading fake information and what have you. But, you know, as someone who has even covered a lot of missing person cases, I can tell you that, you know, when you're dealing with like a child that's missing that happens to be black, you get a lot of pushback. Like, I've literally tried to help people like find their kids or spread awareness about their kids being missing, only for people to tell me, hey, stay out of black folks' business. You know what I mean? And then the black community will say, oh, it's racist. Why isn't anyone covering our cases? I get those comments all the time. Why didn't you talk about this case? Why didn't you talk about this missing girl? Well, because when anyone talks about these cases, we get attacked. We get called racist if we talk about black murderers. Why aren't you talking about the little black girl that went missing? I would love to. I hope she gets found, but guess what? When I cover that, I get told I need to stay in the white folks' place and mind white folks' business. Get out of black folks' business. And then, of course, in the black community, there's this thing about snitching and all of that other stuff. So I can't even blame half of these true crime community YouTubers who basically ignore any case involving black people because they understand, probably like I have to understand, that whenever you acknowledge crimes being committed by another race of people besides white people, oh my God, all hell breaks loose. You cannot hold anyone accountable unless they're white. So the media dodges stories like what happened to Graham Hoffman. Independent journalists dodge stories like what happened to Graham Hoffman. The true crime community, YouTubers, TikTokers, everyone tries to dodge these stories. Yet here I am, standing on an island by myself, willing to talk about this and receive all of the hate. Now, I know I went off on a rant there, and I apologize, but I just have some things I got to get off my chest. Now, as far as Graham Hoffman goes, the woman who killed him had no business being out of jail. And I got a comment yesterday, someone saying, hey, it's the law. She should have been able to bond out. Look, when you have a crazy, violent individual, and you know they're a crazy, violent individual, you don't need to be giving them bonds and letting them right back on the streets. This woman attacked a police officer, was biting a police officer, latched onto his arm like a freaking pit bull, and then reached for the police officer's knife. I didn't even know police officers carry knives, but she reached for the police officer's knife and tried to stab him. She was then released from jail just a couple of days later, and then winds up killing this innocent paramedic in the back of an ambulance as he was literally trying to help her and transport her to the hospital. I can't think of anything more disgusting. And I know I say that a lot, but man, this definitely takes the cake for me. Just thinking about the fact that here we have a man, a productive member of society, whose job it was, his passion was to help other people. You're not a firefighter and a paramedic just because you like the paychecks and you want the money. You do those jobs because you want to help people. And everyone who has spoken out about Graham says he was such a great dude. And he was in the back of this ambulance trying to help this woman when she plunged a knife into his chest. And now she finally, I guess that she made her first appearance in court. Earlier, I want to go ahead and roll this clip from the news. But first, if you guys support this channel, if you're happy that I'm willing to call this type of stuff out, you could always support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. Or you can support the channel for free by sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting below, becoming part of the conversation. But with that being said, let's roll this news clip and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
And across the metro tonight in honor of fallen Kansas City firefighter paramedic Graham Hoffman. Police say the 29-year-old died after being stabbed by a patient during what would have seemed like a routine call. That patient identified as Shanetta Bazel, and she's charged with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, assault, also resisting arrest. We do have full team coverage tonight, starting with our Lexi French. So Lexi, you were in the Clay County courtroom today when Bazel appeared before a judge?
Yeah, Bria, Shanetta Bazel appeared virtually before the judge this afternoon. She's accused of stabbing Graham Hoffman in the chest while riding in the back of an ambulance early Sunday around 1:25. Now, while today's court appearance provided little new information about that investigation, court documents we're learning more from about other recent charges against Bazel. A spokesperson for the Clay County Prosecutor's Office told Fox 4 on Monday that they're focused on achieving justice inside the courtroom and supporting those affected by this crime. On Sunday, Clay County Prosecutor Zachary Thompson announced charges against 38-year-old Shanetta Bazel in connection with the killing of paramedic and firefighter Graham Hoffman.
Our community grieves his loss at such a young age, with his entire life ahead of him. No words or actions can undo the tragic events that led us here tonight. That will not stop us from remaining steadfast in our pursuit of justice.
Bazel was arrested and charged with assault on a law enforcement officer just days before the killing of 29-year-old Graham Hoffman. Court records say Bazel bit a Platte City police officer on April 23rd. She was charged in Clay County and posted bond on April 25th.
So when we filed the initial charge and requested a warrant, and it was granted, the judge in that case, as in all criminal cases, reviewed the circumstances, determined the appropriate bond. In that case, bond was set at $10,000 and the defendant posted that bond.
The 38-year-old doesn't appear to have a criminal history in Missouri prior to the incident on April 23rd. She's being held on a $1 million bond for the charges connected to the killing of firefighter Hoffman.
The work to uncover more information about the facts and circumstances of this horrific crime continues. Let me be perfectly clear. Our office will use all legal, moral, and ethical tools at our disposal to ensure justice for Graham, his family, and our entire community.
Bazel is due back in court here in Clay County 1 week from today. That's for a bond review hearing, and a preliminary hearing has also been set in this case for June 6th. John.
Something's got to give, folks. This cannot just keep being allowed to happen. Something's got to give. Something's got to be done. And if you ask me, these woke judges that keep releasing these crazy psychopaths back onto the streets to hurt more people, when something bad happens to someone like Graham Hoffman, I think these judges that are letting these psychos out of jail, these judges need to be held or at least partially responsible for the murders that these psychos commit when these judges let them out of jail. And yes, I'm talking about you, Lewis. Trust me, I know who the judge was that let this lady out of jail. I think this man right here should be held partially responsible for Graham's death. Because without this judge, this woman would not have been back on the streets. I do not remember people biting, beating up police officers and almost stabbing them, literally sending a police officer to the hospital because she's bitten a chunk out of his arm. Since when did people like that get released from jail within a couple of days? And I don't want to hear, oh, it's the law. They're supposed to get a bond. You got to understand. No, I don't understand. Fuck that. Okay? Someone like this, you can look at her and say, oh, she has no business being on the streets. We got to stop letting people like this back into society to prey on more innocent people. I don't give a damn about the technicalities of the law. What about the fact that we have a young man, an outstanding citizen who literally spent his life helping people? He's now dead, but Shanita's still here. The cop biter, the paramedic stabber, she's still here. Oh, freaking great. What a great, great addition to our society. What a great, great, positive, freaking light in the world. No. Crazed individuals like this one need to be kept behind bars. Honestly, you can do whatever you want with them. I don't care. I don't care. Once you show that you're a violent, crazy person that wants to hurt other people, it's a wrap. You can go throw these people in the ocean for all I give a damn. And the judges that are letting them out, they need to start getting charges, if you ask me. Because these judges know what they're doing, folks. They know what they're doing. I'm telling you right now, there are people in jail right now for way less than biting and trying to stab a police officer. There are people sitting in jail for complete nonsense. Meanwhile, these woke judges are purposely, it's all by design. If you think it's a coincidence or it's an accident, it's all by design. They're purposely releasing these people on the streets because they want chaos, they want problems, they want people getting killed. It's all by design. It's all part of the plan to destroy America, to destroy American society. And it's been working for a long time now. And unfortunately, even the people who are against this stuff happening, they're too scared. They're cowards. They're too scared to call this stuff out. But they'll get on my comments and say, Cinema, you shouldn't have said that. It was mean. But they don't have any emotions towards the people who are getting stabbed in the chest left and right. Graham, Austin, no sympathy for them, but oh God, Cinema, why are you being mean in your coverage? I don't know where this world is headed right now, but it's definitely not in a good place. I think a lot of people were hoping that this country was going to get back on track, but as of right now, there's a lot of issues that people are still afraid to call out. And until those issues get called out, until those problems get solved, we're going to be here every couple of days talking about stories like this one. And to be completely honest with you all, I'd rather be talking about other things like aliens and UFOs and all types of wild stuff. But I can't find it in me to just keep ignoring this problem. I feel like even I, someone with the platform here, I've been ignoring some of these issues. And when I say I've been ignoring them, I haven't been ignoring them. I've been aware of the issues. I've been following the issues, but I haven't really spoken out about the issues as much as I am now. But, it's becoming impossible for me, at least, to keep ignoring. And if you guys want to keep ignoring these problems, that's fine. But there's going to come a day when you can no longer ignore it. And I'm hoping that day doesn't come. I'm hoping that we can start speaking out and prevent that day from coming. But eventually, like I keep telling people, you're going to get slapped in the face with reality. You could try to deny reality. You could hide from it for a while, but it will eventually find you. For now, though, I want to find you guys down in my comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.